BF, 23M, always asks his mom what's for dinner before hanging out with me, 22F. When I ask my BF, of 2 years, when he wants to hang out, he always has to check with his mom what's for dinner that day first. If it's not food that he likes, he hangs out with me. If it is, he doesn't and tells me to hang out another day. We don't live together and he has his own place. He doesn't live with his parents. I don't know, but is this a reason to get frustrated? This is really stupid. Also, when we do hang out, we always cook or get great food. I don't understand. I feel like I'm being treated as a second choice over food here, which is insane to say. For example, yesterday, he told me he can't see me this entire week. We hang out 2 to 3 times a week, because his family has planned really good dinners for this week. Weird but okay. Oh, and I don't get invited anyway because he's uncomfortable me meeting his family. Suggestions? Too long didn't read. BF decides whether he wants to hang out with me based on his mom's cooking. Thank you so much for all these comments. You guys are making me realize more and more things, and it's not just about the food anymore. So he doesn't like arranged marriages but doesn't have the balls to tell his parents that at 23 years old. One of my girlfriends was in your shoes in college. One day, her boyfriend of 3 years was suddenly engaged to a rando. She found out because a mutual family friend called her dad. This actually made me laugh, but that's terrible. First of all, boy, cook your own damn dinner. If he is going to his parents every night to eat, it's highly likely he'll expect a partner to cook all his food eventually too. He also is putting food before you, consistently, which is some BS. But, after reading this a second time, are you sure he's going to his parents? Are you sure he's not dating someone else and seeing what their plans are? I feel like I'm being treated as a second choice over food here, which is insane to say. And I don't get invited anyway because he's uncomfortable me meeting his family. It sounds like a really performative way for him to highlight to you that you're not that important to him. It's very rude. He is going out of his way to do this, and it's sod. Food, meals, eating together, etc. are all things that can have deep emotional elements to them, and to be continually excluded is hurtful. I'm also getting the impression that there's a dynamic here of either you feeding him, or him getting fed by his parents, but he doesn't seem to go out of his way to cook or to organize food. Maybe I'm reading too much into it, but when you two cook together, who does most of the cooking? Who is paying for the groceries? Okay, so he's weird about food and doesn't want you to meet his family after 2 years of dating. Those aren't the biggest sins in the world, but honestly, why not find someone who isn't those things? Maybe he's a solid BF in every other respect, but you're young and you have all the time in the world to be picky about your partners. Being picky is pretty much always worth it in my experience. I could totally see how that habit might make you feel second place to his mom's cooking. And frankly, it would be weird for me to date anyone for that long and never meet his family. Sounds like this stuff bothers you, and it sounds like it's been going on for a while. If you want things to be different, tell him, and if they don't change, go date someone who won't ditch you for mom's spaghetti. 2 years together and you don't know his family? That sounds weird. Sorry to mention this, but are you sure he's not in another relationship as well? No frown, I always ask him. I should have mentioned this, but I'm not getting invited to his parents because of religious issues apparently. He says his family is very religious and inviting me over would seem like a scandal for them since his family only believes in arranged marriages. Him going to all these dinners is just making me feel so left out. I feel so lonely, especially because I don't even have my family near me either. My ex showed up at my house with her friend then left. My ex and I broke up because she was cheating. She wanted me back and I blocked her on everything. Yesterday her and her friends drove up my long driveway, got out at my house and then left. I was at my house at the time and 95% of the time here people pull up, but this time I didn't. She was with my friend's ex and then my other's friend's girlfriend. My other's friend's girlfriend said it wasn't a good idea and stayed in the car while they got out. She told my friend, who then told me what happened. This is very creepy and stalkerish. I had my car on jack stands locked in the garage, but I usually have it outside. I'm kinda worried they'll do something to it whenever I put it back outside. What should I do? Should I even be worried? My mate's girlfriend said they didn't do anything, just got out and walked around, but I'm still worried they'll come back but without her. TL, Doctor, my ex shows up at my house, walked around and left, and it kinda worries me. Put up some security cameras pointed at your driveway, walkway to house, front/rear doors, garage, and where you park your car. This way you will have evidence if she does trespass again or if she does something to your property. Consider getting a restraining order if possible. If you see her come to your house, you can call the police for trespassing, which may help with the restraining order. Usually people have the impression that their friend or ex wouldn't ever do things like this. But if you on the other hand have an idea that she could vandalize your property or possessions, I guess you already know something about the relationship that wasn't right. But since you can't move from your place, just set up cameras and maybe you can have some evidence if something happens. Buy security cameras and documents everything. Documents that your mate admitted to bring your ex in your house. Did she had a key of your house? Did you got it back? I would change the locks because she could have made a copy of the keys. You should add your ages and genders. My post got removed for not having them. My mate's girlfriend said they didn't do anything, just got out and walked around. Your mate's girlfriend knows more than she's letting on. They must have had a conversation in the car as to what they were planning to do there, which is why she didn't get out of the car. Ask your mate to press his girlfriend on what exactly their intentions were. Is it okay that I, 20, can't forgive my dad for beating me as a kid? I'll try to keep this as short as possible. My mom didn't really believe in corporal punishment, so she never really allowed my dad to do it, and for the most part he didn't, except for that one time, and it was one of the most traumatic experiences of my childhood. I was aged 9 to 11, I don't remember exactly, but one night I was trying to wake my dad up in the middle of the night to fix something from me, and he woke up angrily and gave me a very severe beating. The whole time I was trying to get away, but I was so much smaller than him and he held me down, so there was no way that I could escape him. When he was done, he left me with cuts all over my body, and my lip busted, and went back to sleep like nothing happened. Now I'm 20 and I don't know why I still don't have the strength to forgive him for what he did that night, especially because a lot of my friends have been abused by their fathers and have now forgiven him as adults. If they can do it, why can't I? Is it okay that I can't forgive my dad for this? And if it's not, what can I do to be able to do that? Edit. A lot of you guys are asking me if my dad asked for forgiveness, and to be honest, I don't really remember much from that age, so I'm not sure if he did. But what I do know is that we never had an adult conversation about it, and the thought of having one really terrifies me because I really am scared of what he might say. Because if he said that he doesn't regret it or that he doesn't think it was wrong, that would be extremely heartbreaking for me. But maybe someday I will have the courage to talk to him about it. Thank you so much to everyone who took the time to reply to this. Too long didn't read. I never found the ability to forgive my dad for beating me as a kid, and I don't know if I'm an awful person for that. But I was so much smaller than him and he held me down, so there was no way that I could escape him. When he was done, he left me with cuts all over my body, and my lip busted, and went back to sleep like nothing happened. Think it's harder to imagine the severity of something when it happens to ourselves. But if this had happened to a friend you really love, would you not think that feeling anger would be very natural? For me, that sentence reads as such cruelty from the person who was supposed to protect you and keep you safe. Instead, he outright beat you up like you were some thug trying to mob him. What the heck? That's insane. What is your reasoning to force yourself to forgive him? Emo, if it's not happening naturally, don't force it. You have plenty reason to be angry. Talking to him about it would be an option. See if he shows remorse, if he hears how much it has pained and traumatized you. When he was done, he left me with cuts all over my body, and my lip busted, and went back to sleep like nothing happened. This was not corporal punishment. This was assault. There is no need to forgive your father. I never forgave my dad for beating the shit out of me. Been North Carolina for years. It is okay to be mad at him. Did he ever apologize and ask for forgiveness? It is hard to forgive someone when such said someone doesn't ask for forgiveness. How do you forgive someone when he or she doesn't think it is a transgression? My father abused me verbally and physically when I was young. My mom turned a blind eye and my brother idolizes him. I am still angry and he died 5 years ago. I think I could forgive him if he was remorseful and asked me to forgive him. The fact that he didn't think what he did was wrong really pains me. Your dad assaulted you. If he'd done that to an adult, he would have faced serious consequences. You absolutely have the right to deal with this however you want, whatever is best for you. Many people don't forgive, many go no contact. The most important thing is for you to heal from this hugely traumatic experience, through trauma therapy if possible.